But anyway, as I was saying, so it's like this put the way they traded, like in this push to the upside. Before they had started trading this way, like they had already like led the push to be overextended. Like the intent to trade behind this push was overextended in overextended territory, and it would make sense to start to see signs with regard to the way that traders trade, like that presents info that could suggest the push is nearing being done, and that a retrace is likely, right? Especially with it also being above the high too. Like, anyway, that's confirmed here, and then retraces slightly, and then impulse from here, and then the way they trade like here brings the Artan push to be set up as like probably being done, and that the way they trade like is off the sort where they're no longer willing to continue trading in this, like within this Artan push to the downside any longer. Like this Artan push is done as of here, right? And it's no longer the in-play Artan push based on how traders trade like as of this most recent bar close. So during the life cycle of this push, it ends as of this bar close. It could easily extend and then certain structure could unfold, but as of this most recent bar close, this push is done. Anyway, we'll get here, and then this push to the upside kind of arcs out a little bit, and then this bearish bar close is off the sort what would suggest a retrace is likely to about here. But in order to get on board with this trend, we would want to see a retrace, so we'd want to keep that in mind. And then yeah, but this bar didn't even close on the 10th, so but this bar did. Okay, so that's what that line is too. Okay, so here, this is most recent info too. The 4-day bar close description, and anyway, it would make sense to retrace anyway, like I said. But anyway, like if I just delete this is most recent data, which, like I said, is what I like to go based on if I have it available. So, like for example, if the 4-day bar closed on the, let's just say the 4th, but then the 3-day bar closed on the 3rd, I'd go based on the 4th, right? Like I'd prioritize that a little bit more. Anyway, this, you kind of got this going on. You would just drop down again to the daily. Like you don't want to overcomplicate it. Like it's somewhat, it's not really complicated. All you're doing is really dissecting the intent, what comprises the particular in-play and push, and basically determining whether participants have traded in the fashion what set up the push to be set up as off the sort of likely to keep pushing, near him being done pushing, likely being done and likely to retrace, or likely to retrace. So, and in this case, it's likely to just keep pushing on to the upside, but it is a little bit iffy. So you would just drop down. So in that case, this is when I pull out the 12, but I'd probably pull out the 12 hour anyway, to be fair and honest. So you'd be looking at the Monday bar close. So yeah, like this. That's a bit iffy, to be fair, but yeah, you got the 3-day in your favor. You've got the daily was bullish too. Let me just check the daily. Yeah, we do have the daily that is bullish. Like down, yeah, that does look good, to be fair. And then obviously that thingy, the 3-day. Yeah, no, this looks brilliant. So, but obviously with the way the 3-day and daily and 12 is back is set up, specifically the daily and 3-day, and then you see the 8 set up like this, it looks good to keep pushing higher and extend the range from the 3-day bar close up to the high and a bit past, whereby participants are likely to maintain a certain side of intent for. Now, like the way that traders have traded gold, like here, it just suggests that they're likely to keep going. So I would just drop to the 4 immediately, and then again, simple as 4 hour. There's no bearish signs here. It's just likely to keep going. You could drop down to the 2 hour. Kind of just makes sense to look for the 15M to definitely set up appropriately. But then anyway, you drop down to the 15 minute, and then you would see how it would be most appropriate to see the 15M chart perspective set up to get on board with the Poist direction, Poist profile over European morning training session as of 7 in the morning, which would be in this case this low to this high, even probably this low to be fair, about that in fact, to go lenient, and then yeah, push lower, and then see an anatomic bar close, you see that here, and then you would do your blue line SL method, which would be the initial low from when the entry formed, and I would probably have the stop at about here to be fair, and then target the 101, so that would be that. There we go. Now, just like, and then obviously that's the procedure that I always come to this procedure in advance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that absolutely live, real time. I'm just going to see when I can go back to on the 15 minute, just so that we don't like do a date that I kind of go back to without having done before. Oh god, glitching already. Okay. I guess we could do a date in October, presumably. Okay, September. Well, we'll just start from October, and we'll just start from October. So, monthly. Yeah, so I've already done the at-hand pushes when they come to an end. They're not even hot anymore, the drink I made. Anyway. So here, we can see we're very overextended. It did come to an end here, the push. I would probably say, to be fair, you got signs here, definitely, and then you kind of got a sign here, and I would just say, yeah, okay, this push is probably done, and it's likely to retrace to about here. Hang on, actually. Yeah, I would say about there. About there. It's just in this region, where I'm circling. And then anyway, you have ensuing structure, and that ensuing structure could just keep going on forever, but it is kind of false. It's like taking paracetamol, for example, when you're ill. It just makes you feel completely fine, and but really you're just being held up, and you'll probably crash the next day. And so it's like it's all balanced out basically. So it's all good and well, but that's likely to come down and be balanced out and be all bad and bad. So anyway, as to the October bar close, it is still like there's like the way participants intend to trade has structured the in-play at and push, which is this low at this high. It's not set up the monthly chart to be set up and push to be set up the sort of a push. That's done. It's likely to keep pushing, at least to up to, like, I mean, I'll just draw the box, right? So you've seen my mouse before I drew this box too, by the way. Yeah, I guess when I first initially went to do October, I seen this price action, but like, look, I don't trick myself with this shit. Like, I want to do this for the rest of my life, so I don't like do all this shit like tricking myself. Like, oh, you could have bought here right at this low, and then sold right here, and then bought right here, then sold there, and then bought here, and then whatever. Like, no. Or like, for example, like, I don't know, like this. 2 seconds. You'll see what I'm going at. I'm just wasting time at this point, but yeah. I bought here, and I just sold right at the high and had a 47R. Yeah. No, I do not do that. I'm not 16 anymore. Anyway, yeah, so I'd probably pull this down a little bit, actually, to be fair, based on like the information that you would actually have at hand. So there we go. Just assess that. Like, I deal with the charts as if it was real time, so Yeah, I'd probably say that. So it's and the reason why is just because like the way participants have expressed and demonstrated their willingness and conviction, and what their intent is to trade with those prices where the most recent bar closed that, and the way they traded it over like the most recent bar close, like so it shows shows you how they are willing to trade with the prices that are available on this occasion. And the way they've traded like throughout each of the bars that comprise the overall configuration of the in-play and push has contributed to the trajectory the push is pushing in. And the way they've traded like has not set up the in-play and push to be set up as of the sort of being done. And it's likely to just keep continuing, extending outwards before it sets up anywhere near of the sort of being done. So anyway, what I then like to do, but I'll not do for this strategy, but if I was to do it, like this, so I may as well just quickly go through the higher time frame strategy here. I'm aware that I'm probably maybe digressing in quite a few different places here, but it's basically the same thing, the higher time frame strategy, so just bear with us. So the monthly bar close obviously opens and closes on the first of the month. It's a good time to trade at the start of the month, I must say, by the way. Yeah, I know that rhymes, but okay. So the monthly bar closes. The 2 week closes on the 2nd of October. So this is the range of. I need to think of a name of what this is like called because like I mean first of all I've never seen someone do this, but it's like you just project and it's like a projection type tool of like, for example, based on the intent that participants have exhibited and contributed to the way that the in-play and push is set up, um, like, and the way the trajectory is set to set to be poised to continue to push, like as a result, the way that intent to trades it poised to unfold, like as of the most recent bar close, based on the trajectory of the push, but comprised of the intent participants have exhibited, like how like if the trajectory isn't set up in a fashion that's done, and traders have demonstrated that they are willing to continue buying on with the prices that are available in the region where the most recent bar closed out, and the push is likely to keep pushing outwards before to give participants the opportunity to trade in the fashion that would arc the push out and actually present info that would suggest that the push is likely being done, then like why not mark a little bit of a range above from the close off like to a certain point where like okay yeah within this vicinity participants are likely to be in this case bullish biased up till at least, which you could be quite confident of based on um, uh, the monthly recent bar close. But like if the monthly's a bit odd, like on GU like had like a monthly bar close which left a little bit of a wick rejection to the upside, right? And therefore to get on board with that trend, like relative to the initial monthly time frame, we would kind of want to see we would want to see a retrace to the OTR region, and then a nice weekly bar close, and then short into that. But like at the start of the month, then we drop down to the 2 week, and then we'll see the 2 weeks got a bullish bar, which suggests that intent to trade relative to the 2 week time frame. Which also we must also consider where this bar formed the way it did too, and it was right at the lows after of a push that had been long lasted with its push into the downside, and then yeah, it was backed up by the weekly, the 4 day, the 3 day, the 2 day, and then you drop to the daily. I remember you dropped to the daily, kind of seeing that like we're likely to retrace a little bit, but every other time frame was poised to be like yeah okay. At the start of the month, the charts on the lower time frame, the intent to trade comprising those charts, is of the sort that's likely to unfold in a fashion where the market's likely to set up in a way what would be the most appropriate way relative to the monthly to set up and set up in that fashion, and not just, for example, push lower based on how next step lower time frame intent to trade was set up so yeah, And then anyway, you then drop to the, after the daily, you drop to the 4 hour, and then basically see what the most appropriate way would be to see the 4 hour chart perspective setup, like as of the monthly opening first day, basically. So we'll do that here. So the 2 week is still kind of poised for upside, but of course, to get on board with this, we would want to see a retrace. We would not be buying the highs relative to the 2 week if we're going to get on board with the 2 week direction. It was the 7th of October, was it? Not the. Yeah. So. Hang on. Yeah, it was the 7th. So this is the higher time frame strategy. So this isn't the 15-minute gold strat flow approach based. But anyway, so yeah, the 7th is the date that would be looking to trade. And then anyway, here we'll kind of see some signs for bearishness a little bit. Like, you know, you've got this push high, low, trend to the upside, overextended big time. The way they trade, like here, and this wick selling tail thing. And here, it kind of suggests that that interest is waning. See which bar is going to fall on 7. Oh, okay. Right. So still, it is still a little bit bearish, this, to be fair. Because, you know, you sat right at the very highs, you got a selling tail at the top. I don't really like this, to be fair. No. 2 day. Okay. Well, you certainly wouldn't want to be buying, that's for sure. You might, but like you would want to see the daily setup properly, and then therefore see a daily nice bar close. Because if you're using the daily fib, then you're going to use the daily nice bar close, right? If you're doing the standard EU strat flow based approach, you don't look for the 1 hour OTR appropriate fib pull and then a 10-minute nice bar close in iffy circumstances, right? Or even emphasizing it more, 5 minute. Like, nah, you just don't do that. You look for the 1 hour. So this is pretty iffy. Yeah, I honestly think I would look for shorts here. But like only down to a certain point, like, and you'd need to see it set up properly. I'd probably look for shorts down to about here, and then I'd verify this. So that's 639. So that's, oh, yeah, okay, that's here, and we would need to back that up with this. God's sake. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, my neck knocks. Anyway. Yeah, so see this relative to the 4 day now. Just backing it all up, you know, like if it was real time, we'd be going over this pretty extensively. Yeah, so look at this. You got like wick rejections right at the highs of an in-play and push. Just I would be quite scared of going short gold, to be fair, anyway, at this point in time, because I remember how bullish it was, even though it's at the very highs. And then also, look, the monthly, like this is the monthly range of prices that are poised to be primarily interacted with on the buy side, right? So, yeah, like, pretty damn bullish. But, like, if you then go to the weekly, that was the weekly bar close. Yeah, like, yeah, no, and this looks okay actually, to be fair. Yeah, and then I just want to back it up. So then 2 day. So you got kind of some short-term structure going on. Yeah, you would definitely want to be careful with buys, for sure. I mean, sells, even though it does go down. But like I said, like I look for I look for real time, like I emulate real time, right? I mean, yeah, look, your structure's bullish too. Like this would be the external push, which like if you were to get on board with the monthly direction, you like um you would want to see a retrace of some sort if you were looking to trade based on the 4 hour. And what you would want is you'd want to retrace to here, which I think you actually get, and then a nice daily bar close, and then see the 4 hour setup appropriately. So yeah, see, so like I'm seeing this in advance, right? So like there's two options to play here, right? So like of course when I dropped the daily, I didn't even look at this. Like look, I don't think I need to emphasize any longer. Like I mean, I was just about to say, I mean, I've only got 8 subscribers. It's not like I've got 100k and I'm trying to sell some sort of education or some shit. Like, nah. Anyway, so we could look for sales down to this point here. I would just immediately drop to the 4 hour. Obviously, this is the 4 hour strategy, the 4 hour flow based approach. And anyway, I'm pretty sure it gets filled in immediately. Yeah, it does. So, oh no, it doesn't actually, because we'll be doing it up for the 7th. Yeah, but it does. So immediately on the first 4 hour bar close, the selling range basically is closed in, right? But so that's that over. So then what you would be waiting for is a nice daily bar close on the daily out this region, which I think, and we just, I don't really know if I'd be as specific as this. Like, yeah, well, anyway, it did hit. But anyway, it wouldn't even matter because that's not a daily block, nice daily block closed. It's likely to keep pushing lower. And then this isn't either, but this is. And then you could drop to the 11th. And then as of the 11th, you would then be looking for the 4 to set up appropriately within the range that is appropriate to do so. So, like, I'll just show you. So like the 11th, so that's here. No, yeah, it's basically here. So it'd be like this. Like I said this in advance too. Like, okay, daily February trace. It doesn't even matter. Like, you'll see, I could easily be like, oh, yeah, you'd buy here, or even if I was trying to be somewhat realistic and still reel people in, I could, I could then say, oh well, you'd buy here, yeah, and then bam, yeah, like just no. Anyway, yeah, so you'd look for the 4 hour to now set up appropriately, which would be a retrace to the 4 hour appropriate fib pull as of the key time period. We can then look for the 4 hour to set up appropriately. And anyway, we see it keeps going up and it just keeps pushing to the upside. And then again, you kind of got this, like, you kind of go up to, like, from here, yeah, you kind of got a fib retrace here, etc., and then a new push. But I would just track this as a fib pull. But then the actual in-play at-hand pushes would be this. So if I just start from here, 4 hour, this kind of comes to an end as a here, and then kind of just keeps going. Yes, this wick, the lows right here, but I would just classify this as one big push. Obviously, this would be the low, but like it wouldn't like take this in-play out and push, like not be in the in-play out and push. Like it's just the same thing. Anyway, right here, there are some signs that it might come to an end, but like, you know, gotta just based on this big wick, I would probably want to wait on the next time frame. And then also, I mean, we would be dropping down at 11 anyway, so we wouldn't be seeing this. And then so would probably just leave it and just keep tracking the fib. And then here, yeah, okay, it does actually look like it's possibly showing signs of being done, so I would mark this high. And then again, as of this most recent bar close, I would then mark this as the high, and then comes down, and then here it kind of looks like ensuing structure. So that would be the low. Then here, this push to the upside comes to an end based on how traders traded like in this push and how that compares to previous push, the most recent previous hand push, intent, how long it lasted for, how long this in play and push. intent to trade had lasted for, and facilitated the push to be set up like before trades traded in this way, and it just basically set up this in-play and push to be set up as off the sorters. Interest was no longer there anymore to continue buying, it was likely to keep selling, and that would be likely to be the case until traders traded like in the way that suggested otherwise, which happened to be as of this most recent bar close. Now, this is also an in-play and push, right? So if we had a nice in-play and push bar close here, no, sorry, if we also then like had this in-play and push that kind of came to an end, like all extended below this low, actually, no, ignore that. I would not, because we would track the fib accordingly to the key time period, which would be like the 11th. So from the 11th, which would be up to this most recent bar close, so the data, so we wouldn't see the data from here, from my mouse, where my mouse is. So the fib pull there is there, and then we keep tracking it to there. Like here is just no man's land. Would be waiting for that. Anyway, it's then broke above, so yeah, I would then mark a new fib here. But anyway, yeah, as you see, it just plows higher. Here, you kind of got a break here, but it's too compact, this range, compared to this Saturn push. So I just keep tracking the fib. Anyway, get the gist. As once the market reached territory in around this region, I would probably sack it off, looking for buys. So yeah, anyway, it did keep on going, and yeah, you didn't really, it doesn't even matter. Even if you did have an opportunity, there's no point saying that. But yeah, that's what you'd be looking for basically. So yeah, that's it. That's the higher time frame approach, but like the 15-minute approach, hopefully there's a trade on the first day. Okay, so the weekly, okay, right, well the weekly time frame's kind of irrelevant. So hang on, so the monthly, Monday, Tuesday, okay, so this is your in-play week. Okay, so this is your in-play week, so this is what you'd have. The monthly is bullish, we already established that. So we're doing this Tuesday. Good. That's good. So obviously this holds way more significance than the weekly, because the weekly closed on like the 30th or something. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, it was like, hang on. New weekly bar opened on the Monday, yeah. So the 30th. So this is newer data because we're starting on the 1st. Anyway, this looks kind of good to trade lower to at least here, based on how traders are trading like here. No longer willing to continue buying at these prices, and rather they are willing to continue selling. And there's no signs that of this likely to stop yet. So it's likely to continue bearish in this vicinity of prices, which we can see the way they traded like down to about here, I would say. But based on the conviction of this bar close, I would definitely probably say it's about there. And does that happen? Well, it does eventually. So yeah, but anyway, even if it didn't, doesn't matter. That's what we'd be looking for. So yeah, drop down to the 2-day, and we see again bearish bias. So yeah, but bearing in mind, like, what we would also be looking for is like, so whatever the highest time frame is that like we are considering that's closed on the most recent day to the time period we're looking to trade, which is actually on that time period day, which is the 10th. We would also want to see like how would be most appropriate if we were to get on board with that direction that's poised to prevail relative to the strongest time frames. Like, how would we want to see that time frame chart perspective set up like? And in this case, we wouldn't want to be selling the lows here of this push that's already pushing the downside. We would want to see a retrace. And yes, I know we've already seen it, but like, it's just facts. Like, we wouldn't want to be selling down here. We would want to see a retrace to prices better or the same as those that are at the OTR region. So visual daily, Yeah, and then you drop to the 12. So I'm really hoping that I can just go after I mean, I'm gonna do a pod, what I think it's 4 now, anyway, after this, if there's no day. So yeah, it's likely to keep pushing lower, but if we were to get on board with this, we would not want to be selling the lows. We'd definitely want to see a retrace. So there we go. This is good. This is good. So I really hope that like a trade setup set is on this day, and then I can just call it that instead of having to keep hunting. So anyway, yeah, look at this. So the 8-hour chart perspectives, aka the time frames below, are not set up to keep pushing in the direction that the 2-day, the 4-day, the daily, and the 12 are poised to keep pushing in. And rather, they are set up in a fashion, aka the 8-hour is set up in the fashion that of the sort that's likely to set the market up in the way that would be appropriate to get on board with that direction if we were to. And then obviously we'd want to see like a, I would say for the 4-day, maybe it's an 8-hour nice bar close at this region, and then go with the direction. But if it was the 2-week, and then obviously you drop down to the weekly, the 4-day would want to see the daily. But anyway, it's a little bit of a higher time frame approach, and I mean we're enter on the. But even if we were getting on board with this, we'd want to see a retrace, right? So like we wouldn't just buy the highs, because if we're entering on the 15-minute, we could easily get like wicked out. So anyway, drop to the 4. Remember, we skip all the BS too. Like we don't drop. Well, I guess it's not BS, but if it keeps you out of losers, it's not really BS. But anyway, yeah, with on this approach, I guess we could just simply say we don't use the time frames below the 4 to the 1. Would just drop straight at the 15-minute and deal with that. So this is likely to keep pushing higher, at least to around here, based on the 8-hour too. So I really need to go for a shit. If I'm being completely fucking honest. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to start the video again. For the next day, because we would want to see a retrace to around this region, and we don't get that. So yeah. Anyway, next day.